Federal High Court orders permanent forfeiture of $4.7 million, 830 million naira, and multiple properties linked to Godwin Emefiele. President Bola Tinubu approves relocation of 29 correctional centers from urban areas. On the foreign scene, Hamas investigating possible error in identifying human remains handed to Israel on the ceasefire deal. Good evening. This is News at 7 on Western Spring Television. My name is Damilola Raphael. The Osun State High Court, sitting in Ilesha, has ordered the Osun State Independent Electoral Commission, OSIEC, to conduct elections into the positions of local government chairmen and councillors in all the 30 local government areas and the area office in Osun State. Justice A.A. Aderibigbe gave the order today, sequel to a suit brought before the court by the People's Democratic Party, one of the political parties participating in the election. The court further directed all the security agencies comprising the Nigeria Police, the Nigeria Army, the Department of State Security Services, DSS, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, the Amotekun Corps, and the vigilante group in the state to provide adequate security during and after the election. While reacting to the court order at a news briefing, the Attorney General of the state, Jimmy Bada, says the Osun State government has resolved to obey the ruling. The Attorney General, who says the Adeleke administration is a law-abiding one, appealed to Osun voters to troop out tomorrow to exercise their voting rights. The court order comes at a time OSIEC says it has concluded arrangements for the local government election slated for tomorrow, 22nd February 2025.
And as forwarded to me by OSIEC, the governor of Osun State is law-abiding and cannot go against the judgment of the Osun State High Court just highlighted. More so, OSIEC is an independent body. No government, no state government has a control over the affairs of OSIEC. It's just like the federal government cannot control INEC. State government cannot control OSIEC. The order and the judgment is against OSIEC, and I want to enjoin the good people of Osun State to comply with the judgment and decision of the Osun State High Court by going out tomorrow to cast their votes for political parties of their choice. I thank you, gentlemen of the press.
Thank you very much. And our leaders from the ICC. Gentlemen of the press, you have a copy of the court's.
Meanwhile, Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has ordered the restriction of vehicular movement from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday as the state holds the local government election. A statement by the spokesperson to the governor, Olawale Rashid, obtained in Osogbo on Friday, subsequently directed the security agencies to enforce the restriction. The governor also said they should allow only voters and accredited media and civil society organizations to move around for the continued peace and security of the state. Adeleke, who reiterated his commitment to peace and security, said the movement restriction is necessary to prevent importation of hoodlums into the state amidst local elections. In the meantime, government at all levels, all political leaders and the people of Osun State have been called upon to allow peace to reign and not to turn the state known for peace to a political warfare. The chairman of Osun State Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend John Adeleke, made the call while condemning the recent political attacks and killings in Osun State. Reverend Adeleke, who spoke in the company of other heads of the Christian Association of Nigeria, said the need to allow peace in Osun State cannot be overemphasized. He called on the government at all levels, security agents, political gladiators, and the people of Osun State to de-escalate the tension. In other news, former president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Samson Ayokunle, has described as belated a claim by United States Congressman Scott Perry that the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, funded terrorist organizations, including Boko Haram. In an interview program on Friday, the cleric says he will blame the international community, especially the United States Congress. Ayokunle said Khan had raised the alarm that terrorist organizations in Nigeria have foreign sponsors and a steady supply of cash and arms, but the question body was misinterpreted. The former Khan chairman said the U.S. congressman's allegations should not be swept under the carpet. Ayokunle faulted the poor intelligence of the security agencies, saying they failed to identify the source of terror funding until the revelation by the U.S. congressman. Operatives of the police command in Adamawa says they have arrested 2 suspected kidnappers in Ngorore Forest and Grom Mountain in Yola South and Demsa local government areas. The command spokesperson, SP Suleiman Ngoroje, in a statement in Yola on Friday, said the arrest was made in collaboration with the efforts of local hunters. Ngoroje said the success was due to credible information received by operatives on kidnappers' hideouts in the areas. He said during the operations, the armed criminals, upon sighting the operatives, opened fire in an attempt to resist arrest, prompting a gun duel leading to the arrest of 2 suspects. According to him, other members of the gang escaped with bullet wounds and efforts are ongoing to arrest them. The Federal High Court in Lagos has ordered the permanent forfeiture of $4.7 million, 830 million naira, and multiple properties linked to the former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele. Justice Yelin Bogoro, in his judgment delivered on Friday, also ordered the final forfeiture of investments worth $900,000 traced to one of Emefiele's close relatives, Anita Joy Omoile. The court also orders the final forfeiture of another $4.4 million worth of investment traced to Deep Blue Energy Services Limited, as well as another sum of 283 million naira in Zenith Bank traced to Lehman Investment Limited area, 20,000 euros and 1,999 pounds traced to Exact Code Bureau de Change, all companies linked to Omoile. At the instance of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Justice Bogoro granted the final forfeiture of all the funds to the federal government of Nigeria after holding that they were proceeds of unlawful activities. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, on Friday returned a total sum of $132,362 and 78.5 million naira to victims of fraud from the United States, Spain, and Switzerland. Other assets, including vehicles and real estate documents, were also handed over to representatives of these countries in Nigeria for their restitution to those affected by fraudulent activities. Speaking at the EFCC's corporate headquarters in Abuja, EFCC Chairman Ola Olukoyede urged countries withholding assets and funds recovered from financial and economic criminals to release them for victim restitution. Olukoyede emphasized that the event demonstrated the Commission's commitment not just to recovering assets, but also to ensuring they are returned to victims. At the event, Spain's acting ambassador to Nigeria, Maria Velasco, received $1,300 and confirmation of a 30 million naira transfer already made to the Spanish embassy in Nigeria for onward transmission to a victim, Maria del Rosario San Jose. Senior political officer and first secretary at the Embassy of Switzerland, Florent Gil, also received $100,000 on behalf of victim Chantal Helen Levante, formerly known as Chantal Heli Maida. Moving on, President Bola Tinubu has approved the relocation of 29 correctional centers from urban areas across the country. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, made this known on Friday during the unveiling of some operational vehicles for the Nigerian Correctional Service. Tunji-Ojo highlighted that many of the existing correctional facilities, such as those in Suleja and Ikoyi, were established in the 1950s and are outdated. The minister emphasized the urgent need for modernization to improve conditions for both correctional officers and inmates, noting that the relocation is part of a larger plan to address the infrastructural challenges hindering the effectiveness of the correctional system. Tunji-Ojo further noted that the move is essential for creating a more effective and rehabilitative correctional system, as the current facilities no longer meet modern standards. The minister also spoke about ongoing efforts to improve the welfare of correctional officers. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has revealed that none of the 31 requests for state creation met the constitutional requirements. Kalu, who chairs the House Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution, made this known on Friday at a two-day retreat in Ikotekmene, Akwa Ibom State. He noted that the House has since extended the submission date to the 5th of March 2025, stating that it could be extended again if there are still challenges. The event, organized with the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center and supported by the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, aims to review amendment bills and strategize on the next steps in the constitutional review process. Kalu also disclosed that the House Committee is currently reviewing 151 constitutional amendment bills, noting that duplication was a key challenge in the process. The primary school teachers of the Local Education Authority and the area council workers under the Joint Unions of Nigeria Union of Teachers and Nigeria Union of Local Government Employees, NOGE, in the FCT have suspended their strike over non-implementation of the 70,000 naira new minimum wage by the 6 area council chairmen. President of NOGE in the FCT, Abdullahi Kabi, announced the strike suspension during the joint press briefing after addressing executives of both unions at Teachers House in Gwagwalada, Abuja on Friday. He said the decision followed the intervention of the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, and the State Minister, Maria Mahmoud, as well as some top management members of the FCT administration. According to him, among the resolutions reached was the bridging of the communication gap between the joint unions and the 6 area council chairmen, where a monthly consultative meeting would hold on the last Thursday of every month between the council chairmen and the joint unions to discuss the challenges of the workers in order to strengthen the relationship between the two bodies and maintain industrial harmony. Kabi also said a resolution was reached that the new minimum wage for all staff of the area councils, including primary school teachers, would be implemented in February 2025 unfailingly. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says there will be a 7-hour power outage in some parts of the Federal Capital Territory. In a statement, TCN's General Manager of Public Affairs, Ndidimba, said the affected areas will experience blackouts on Saturday, February 22, and Sunday, February 23, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. She attributed the action to scheduled annual preventive maintenance on 2 transformers. Mba noted the power supply will be restored to the affected areas upon completion of the maintenance exercise. In the meantime, Senate spokesman Yemi Adaramudu on Friday faulted the action of his colleague Natasha Boteduagan over a sitting arrangement in the hallowed chamber. Natasha, who represents Kogi Central under the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has on Thursday refused to use the seat allocated to her, citing Order 10 of the Senate Standing Rules, which protects the privileges of members. At the height of the situation, Akpabio called on the Senate security to walk the female senator out of the chambers, but fellow lawmakers' intervention saved the situation from degenerating out of hand. On the possibility of applying disciplinary actions against Natasha, the Senate spokesman said her colleagues from Kogi State, especially Senator Issa Jibril, had already tendered an apology on her behalf. He assured that the 10th Senate would not revisit the issue following the apology on Akpoti Uduagan's behalf. Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule on Friday swore in 15 new commissioners as members of the State Executive Council. The State House of Assembly has screened and confirmed 16 commissioner nominees, but one of the nominees, Margaret Elayo, could not participate in the event due to unspecified reasons. While performing the swearing-in ceremony at the City Hall in Lafia, the state capital, on Friday, Sule urged the new commissioners to avoid all forms of corruption while discharging their duties. He stated that his administration is anchored on accountability, transparency, and prudent management of resources, and therefore would not tolerate corrupt practices. The governor said the appointment of the commissioners was made after extensive consultations with stakeholders across the 13 local government areas of the state. You are watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television. Still to come. Governor Caleb Mutswang of Plateau State signed executive order suspending mining activities in the state with immediate effect. Says it is investigating a possible error in identifying human remains handed to Israel under a ceasefire deal as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu threatened retaliation for failing to release the body of hostage Shiri Bibas. Governor Caleb Mutswang of Plateau State has signed an executive order suspending mining activities in the state with immediate effect. The governor explained that the measure is being taken to protect places of mining activities in the state, while a technical committee, which has been inaugurated, will ascertain persons that are licensed to conduct mining activities in the state. The governor explained further that the state government will also collaborate with the federal government with a view to ascertain the relationship and details of the appropriate standards and monitoring framework between the state, local government areas, host communities, and mineral right holders. The governor added that there will be a holistic review of the security situation in all the mining areas of the state and ensure adequate community development and agreement meant to address the socio-economic contributions of the mineral right holders to the host communities in the state. The executive order takes effect from the 21st of February 2025.